So the weather kind of looks like this today, and I decided to try and make a set of double stabs. What I'm going to be starting off with is some half-inch conduit and a 5/8 wooden dowel. It just says, I think it's poplar wooden dowel. All of them together I think were like $8 at Lowe's, and what I'll do first is cut the metal down, then the insulating pole. Plus how I did it again. There's the notches right there. First is pre-bend the wire. To go into those notches. Just pull that out a little bit. Slide the more frayed end of the Kevlar in, because you want your most frayed bits if you're recycling like I am on the inside. And I pulled enough extra out to where the solid wicking that's left goes to the end of the pipe. And that's just extra tail over there. And then just gonna grab that, just down until it's secure, but not so secure that that wire is about to pop. Tap it down, flatten it. I'm gonna take those two ends again. We're going to take that extra bit that was over the top, fold it down so the wick's flush with the... I'm horrible about watching the screen while I'm doing this. To make sure the wick's even with the top of that again, more or less. And then if your wire will stretch around like this one will, you go ahead and wrap it again. Give another twist. And then you'll roll your wick. Now, instead of having to stop to roll and sew, what I did is I rolled up after measuring equal parts for each one of the four heads and cutting out that same weight of wick. Also go by weight, not length. Your weight is going to show you how much actual burnable, soakable material that you have, whereas the length is going to be a strip of whatever, whether it's frayed cheesecloth or whether it's still solid Kevlar, so I go by weight instead of length. But to keep it together while you do all your heads at once, I use really cheap dollar store duct tape because it comes off, it leaves almost no adhesive because there is almost no adhesive on it because it's really crappy duct tape, and it looks pretty good. What I do is I wrap the center of it and then I take a short strip and then sort of bind everything on the inside. And after I have that, take my tape, wherever it went to. Let's ever switch it to blue. And just got my Kevlar needle. And then you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 wicks. Now I just got to sew them, and to do that what I'll do is I'll take another strip of Kevlar and actually unweave it, and then use those individual fibers for my thread using a regular
upholstery with it.
Okay, so now I've got the heads on, and they do look like they're different sizes, and they are different widths, but they're all the same weight of the same types of caliber. And I know that there's some, I think it's like 6mm and some 4mm, but it's the same weight of 4mm and the same weight of the other. So they are balanced. They are cored, because we put the wooden cords on the center of them, and they seem to be secure enough. I think what I'm going to do is probably on the end put a washer and screw into that wooden core. That'll help expand that and stretch that in there a little bit more, and then also keep the wicks from coming off the end for sure. I just don't want to have too big of a washer because I don't want to get like a hot ring around the end. Same thing I've used for the grip for all the things that I made are just bicycle inner tubes. You want to be careful when you initially cut them open, in case it was a tube that had that slime crap in it. It's never irritated my skin, but it definitely gets everywhere and it ruins clothes, and the camera keeps tilting. But what you're gonna do is how I just did. Cut the valve out, and then the best thing to do is just find one of these seam lines that you can see on it and just cut all the way down it. And it looks like 2 seam lines is about 1 inch wide, and we're gonna use about 1 inch wide strips, so we'll just cut that down all the way, and that should be, the length of this should be more than enough for one of these. It really helps if your scissors are sharp when you do this. Okay, I know since I put core in this that it's going to absorb a little bit more heat at the end, so I can take my grip further down without worrying about either the tape or whatever I use to adhere it to this side with. Do I have any reach? I do. Normally I would use a clamp or something, but I'm really just not going to get up right now. I guess I'm going to take it all the way down to there, and then if it melts, then I'll just cut them down to what works. So. Put a little bit on here to start. Do is just keep pulling it tight as I wind it down, and then you can see where that little bit of a ridge is right there. I'm just going to try and keep that ridge even all the way down. And then at the end, this isn't really going to be meant to hold it, it's just to give me enough time to cut it and get some tape on it. Okay, now this has had some time to sit. So now here's one complete one. The heads are sewn and mounted, and the grip is done and set and taped. It feels balanced and it looks amazing. And now I just need to do the same thing to this one and then try them out. And all it's going to be is just to hold it temporarily. I'll trim that down a little bit, and then later, once I find some more reflector tape, I'll wrap that on the end on both sides. But the tension on this and the overlap and the pressure from it is enough that you don't have to tape or do anything on that side. but I will just because I want it to look even. And that's my first pair of double stabs. I just finished. Grips are done. They are balanced and feel really well weighted. I've never used double stabs before, so this will be the first time doing it. Hopefully this will help be some kind of guide for you to making your own staffs. The same process would work for a full-length staff or a contact staff. You would just use a different width of pipe and length. I think altogether, because the bicycle tube was in the garage, the wicks were recycled from my contact staff, about half the wicking from that. The wooden dowel and the metal pipes are the only things I think I actually bought. And so I think this is all in the box for repairs. Hopefully we're about to test and figure out if they're like totally functional double stabs. So we'll find out.